Hey, what's going on, guys? Shady here from Mine-imator Productions, and welcome back to another Minecraft Mine-imator tutorial. I'm bad at these. This is a tutorial on how to make, like, the keys to making a good wallpaper in Mine-imator, because, you know, Mine-imator, it's a very limited program, but very unlimited if you use it right. Did I use that right? I didn't use the word right. So as you can see, this is a scene. This is a scenery that I have. It's very bad. Now, there are very few ways to, quite a few ways to fix this. One is the sun. This is a very important one. You can up the sunlight strength, making it brighter. And wherever your sun is, our sun is right there. Never have the sun directly above. It messes with the shadows. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. We're going to turn the time down a bit. I'm going to remove the clouds. And now, if you look, it looks better. But one thing is it doesn't there. See? Now it looks more morning-like. Turn that down a bit. And that automatically looks a lot better. Now, another thing you can do is sunlight and ambient are already changed. But what you can do is you can go ahead and change that to what you prefer. I think that looks good. And I like having the sunlight, actually. The ambient, I mean. Like that, more of a yellow, so it's kind of like the sun is shining, but a little bit darker of a yellow, maybe. That's too dark. And of course the sky, there's lots of things you can do with the sky. I like to make the sky look more like a sky. That looks prettier in my opinion. That looks a lot prettier. Now, the sun, in my opinion, is also still out of the way. Or not where I want it. Another thing I'm going to do is quickly rotate the schematic. We're going to make a spotlight now. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go up over to the spotlight. We're going to look back and see where the sun is. Right there. And we're going to take the spotlight and we're going to bring it back. Up. 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 And we're going to rotate it. We're going to rotate it down at the scenery. And then we're going to up it by a lot. See, as you can tell, that already looks a little bit, quite a bit better, actually. Up the spot radius. Might be a little bit too much. Of course, you can mess with it yourself. Turn the sharpness down a bit. And the fade size will have about that. And obviously, change the color to a sun color. Now, if you notice the difference, it looks more like a sun is shining in that direction, which also works for a moon. So that's outdoor lighting. And obviously that's not the only lighting that there is. There's also indoor lighting. So, you know, take a bunch of point lights. If you don't have torches, just bring one in. This will give you a point to put your light where it doesn't look like light is just appearing. If you didn't put one in your Minecraft map already, it doesn't matter. It just looks it looks better. Now we're going to reset all the positions and we're going to put it up. Now obviously this doesn't look that bad, but it does look better than how it was. It looks more like there's an actual light now. Now, this is a tip that I actually learned from Sharpwind. If you don't know who Sharpwind is, I recommend you check his channel out. He has helped me with animation quite a bit. But the tip is, we have this one down at about 110. Create another one. We put that at 150. And we're going to change this color to a yellow orangish color. I mean, orange-ish color. Then we're going to duplicate, bring this one up to 200. And then we're going to make this one more of a red color. And now, if you look, it makes that nice fade color. And it should look a lot better. There you go. Look at that. It looks like a fire, like it should be. Because if you look at a torch in real life, you'll notice that fire it goes from light color to a darker color, which would be white, and then orangish, and then red. It kind of fades to it. Another thing you could do is also add particles, but they don't matter the most at the moment. So there's one torch. And if I put this torch over here. Let's stop the rotation. And we'll set it right over here. Oops, too far. We're going to set it right over here on the slabs, the kitchen counter. Okay. And now let's take a look at the lighting. That looks a lot better. In my opinion, that looks a lot better than what it did. If you didn't see the before picture, I'll put that up on the screen now if I remember in editing. So, our scene looks a lot better already. And all we did was add a bunch of lights. And, of course, change a little bit of the background. Another thing that you can do if you want to also change, like, the water, the color, and the color of those to make it seem like it's fall, click Custom, go to Miscellaneous Foliage, and just change. Look at that. Grass, you can do the same thing there. Make it look dead. Of course, that looks weird. Not exactly how I wanted it to go. Apparently, those don't go with the miscellaneous foliage, but they should. Make this a more muddy-looking color. Of course, that looks weird. That's not how it should look. But, you know, if you wanted to do something like that, that also helps match. It fits with the lighting. If you do it like this, and you make the grass a little bit darker, like that, boom, it fits. The water will make it darker, and boom. I like this. Alright, the next step to making a good wallpaper is posing. Something that a lot of people have trouble with is making the posings look realistic and as if they're confident, like, you know? So this is the pose. I kind of just threw this one together. I'm gonna hide this one. But anyways, if you notice, he looks like he would fall over. His balance isn't right. His arm is not very balanced. It looked like if he was holding a sword like that, his arm would fall off. His body is a very weird way, and his arm isn't even holding his balance. I'm not sure if you would call this a stiff posing, but it's not an amazing posing. Now, I won't say that the next one is any better, but it is a little bit better. So, now, if you notice, his back isn't bent a weird way. His arm is holding the sword out as if it wasn't going to break his arm off. He is keeping himself balanced with his foot. See that? Another thing with feet that you gotta do with the legs is make them on the ground. I didn't do a very good job at this one. If you want to make them tilt or something, tip the body like that, and then spin the legs a bit and bend them until they fit. Now look at that. Of course, his leg isn't out enough. There. This is very important for wallpapers because the first thing a viewer sees when they see a wallpaper is the posing. Which, it's actually one of the things. It's not the thing that people look at first. It looks like he's holding a sword with confidence. Alright, I'm back. And I just set up this little scene, this little wallpaper, for the next key to a nice, good wallpaper in Mine-imator. This is making the most important things stand out instead of just the little things. So you notice he's got a bow next to him and a sword, and you notice he's sitting there feeding a rabbit a carrot. But in the camera, you see them, but they're not the main attraction. The main thing that you see when you look at this is him, a carrot, and a rabbit, and that he's feeding it to him. Which also, if you notice, there's a few other random things splattered about that I made just for the look of the scene, which is the sun. I added the clouds. I changed the color of the water, everything else. And I also changed the sky color. The sky is a more blue. But these are little things that you don't notice until you pay attention, which is actually one of the last steps that we're going to get into. The carrot's not the way I wanted it to be. Don't know why I didn't change it. But, there. Okay, that's still very bad. There we go. But, now if I rendered that, it would look pretty dang good. You see? This, what you want is the main things. to drag the viewer in to see it, and then look at the rest, and then be like, wow, that's good. I wonder what else I can find to see what makes this, what complements the wallpaper, which is exactly what the carrot does, and the bow, and the sword. Now, while I'm in this one, I'm also going to point out the fourth step, which is little details. You don't want them to stand out, but you want little details that complement the scenery, make it look better, fill it up, make it look like there's more than just a little bit to look at. Like, I was actually going to put footprints on the block right here and up there as if the little rabbit was walking, but that would take a lot more time to do than I have. I would have had to done a lot of alpha glitching. But anyways, I put the sword and the bow, and they're not the one thing that you see when you see the wallpaper in your feed or something. You see him feeding a rabbit. As well as after you look, you see, oh look, that tree is orange. Hey look, the grass is greener. Hey look, he's got a knife and a bow. After you take a look at the initial image, which is the scenery and the guy feeding a rabbit a carrot, that's when you notice the rest. Now, while I'm also here, I'm also going to put into the fifth step, which is meaning. Put a story behind it. Don't just throw things into something without any story or reason. Like, what inspired you to make the wallpaper? If you've got an inspiration for the wallpaper, then make the wallpaper like that. Don't just make, like, a monster in a cave with good lighting. Because one of the biggest things for a Minecraft wallpaper is story. Your wallpaper has to tell a story in just, like, a few pixels. I know it's not a few, but I lost my words there. Your wallpaper has to tell a story from one glance, like this, a still. Like, from this, you can tell that the guy, he's feeding he's feeding a rabbit something that he took out of his own crop while he's going out to do something with his knife and his bow. But, on first glance, you don't notice the knife and bow. Back to step 4, little details. And this isn't the perfect example, but this is also the last step, step 6. Scenery. Scenery is one of the most important. If your scenery looks bad, and you don't make it look good, your wallpaper, it's 9 chances out of 10, it's not going to look very good. It sets the mood, and along with the background, of course, because, if I didn't have the trees, you wouldn't assume, hey, it's fall. But you don't need to put in a 2 million schematic. This isn't 2 million. I think this is like 20,000 blocks, maybe more. I could be wrong. And it doesn't look perfect, but for where the camera angle is, it looks good. All right. It looks all right. It looks decent. It's okay. But you don't need, like I said, you don't need to put in 2 million blocks schematic. Just put in a bit. Put in enough to make it fill the screen. As you can tell, I blocked that out with the fence because there's nothing over there. I didn't want people to see that and that, but they can see what they need to see. What fills the wallpaper and also fills in step 3 and 4. Or 5. I don't know. It's one of them. I know it does 3, standing out. But that's it. That's about it, guys. Mess with the background and all that. Anyways, I hope that this tutorial was helpful to use, and it helps you guys make amazing wallpapers. And I hope it helps you guys improve, and you make beautiful wallpapers like this. Just kidding. And something I left out is this. The grid, which is very useful for angle. Like, it's very useful. People use it in photography to get things in the right part of the shot. I didn't angle the camera right. What you're actually supposed to do, which is actually recommended, is have the main shot of the camera on the side. Never in the middle, depending on the shot. This is how it should be put, which is actually how I'm going to leave it. Anyways, But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like down below, show your support, and comment and subscribe to the channel, and comment down below any suggestions for tutorials or any videos like this, and check the description to join the Discord and a bunch of other things. Very little things, actually. There's just going to be a link to the channels of everybody that runs MCP and all that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.